is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
All right. Good morning. Or should I say afternoon? I'm so used to saying good morning. It's like crazy. But it's a not special edition, but it's an extended edition of the W Show happening today. We're following up the Chiefs rookies and QBs Zoom call, which was live on our page as well on our social media and 100.1 FM. As always, we thank you guys for watching and listening to us. Coming up on today's show, NFL owners and players reach financial and practice agreements that will allow 2020 training camps to start on time. We will also be joined by a couple of people to talk about the NBA and the NBA bubble. And we'll talk just a little bit about the NBA and the Jumpman logo that will be put on teams this season. And Pistons fans are kind of salty because the Jumpman logo will be on Detroit Pistons jersey. As I said earlier, we appreciate you spending the morning with us or the afternoon with us. And I am Steve Walls, and just like each and every morning or afternoon, we are joined by also our two other hosts of the show, my guys, DJ Q and Noel. What's going on, guys?
What up? What up?
Man. How's your guys' week, man?
It was a good week so far. Trying to stay Rona free, even though I think I already had it.
A lot of people say back when I was in December, man, I was real sick, and I feel like I had it back then. I'm like, I think if you had it.
I mean, it's terrible. If that's what I had, it's terrible. Yeah. And it was right after we got back from Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember.
Yeah. I disappeared for like 5 days.
That's right.
Doesn't that seem like 5 years ago and not a couple months ago?
Yeah, it seems like a whole year almost. Like
it doesn't even seem like we was there. Like just really 4 months? 4 months ago?
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Let's get into today's headlines, guys.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W. Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
All right, NFL owners, players reach financial and practice agreements that would allow 2020 training camps to start on time. So on Friday, owners and leaders of the Players Union reached an agreement on the parameters of the preseason acclimation window and changes to the collective bargaining agreement that will allow and help the ease of the financial shortfall caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. So the following guidelines will be implemented in time for training camps to begin on July 28th. So camps will now feature a 20-day ramp-up period to help players get back into football shape with objective of minimizing injuries, which is one. And then there's plenty of other bullet points that we can highlight. But first, we talked to, during our Zoom call earlier today, we talked to Rick Burkhalter, who is the vice president of the Chiefs medical team. And so he talked a little bit about just what they're going through and the ramp up period and what players should expect when they show back up for training camp, which I thought, and he even said that he didn't think training camp was going to happen.
I didn't either.
What is going on?
Can you hear me?
There we go.
I can.
Okay, yeah. So he said that he didn't think the training camp was going to happen. He even talked about it's a device that they'll be wearing called a kinetic device. Basically, what that is it's a lanyard, and so that lanyard will track what players that they're talking to. So let's just say Patrick Mahomes is around Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes, God forbid, he contracts the virus. They can go back and say, okay, well, Patrick spent 5 minutes talking to Reed. Patrick spent 5 minutes talking to, Tyrann Mathieu, and they can track it and say, so we need to go test you guys and make sure that you don't have the virus.
Yeah. And the virus is going to make it so tough this year. I mean, because there's going to be added jobs onto people that are already in high stress environments. So you would hope that, there are dedicated people for this, just because it there's so much that can go wrong, and especially with the virus that's so unpredictable, especially person to person. So we just we could hope that testing, that they're able to catch it early. And I think that was if that's what I had in February, I think that was my saving grace one, because I just caught it early. I'm always around people, so I'm taking NyQuil and vitamins and everything as soon as I get home from events at times. So
after the rookies and QBs reported on Monday, the league they first announced 95 positive tests, and then later reported that it was not 95 but only 59 positives.
Yeah.
we talked about that in our meeting earlier this week, man. Is that really true? Is the number really 95 to 59 now? Is that a real true number? Or did they look at that and say, okay, well, we only have, out of 32 teams, we have, 10 rookies or 8 rookies per team showing up plus the QBs.
Yeah.
I mean, that number, they could have looked at it and said, all right, well, we need to kind of scale that back a bit.
Yeah. And I mean, it's easy for us today to say because we don't have any money up. But then again, I think for these organizations, you really have to look at the safety aspect of it. And especially like, we talked about earlier about, coming home to their families and their families being educated on what they should do and different things. So, they're covering all bases. But still, it's just going to be tough with everything so unpredictable still.
And Rick Burkholder, he talked about with the rookies showing up and then the veterans, they'll be reporting on the 28th. But he said something that was interesting to me, and that's they're going to educate families and talk to the families about, okay, well, this is what our day-to-day is going to look like. This is what it should look like, within your household and so forth.
Mm-hmm. The smart thing to do, I would say, because these players are going to be going back and forth from the facilities to their families. It's not a bubble situation where you're expecting them to not be around other people. So I think the smartest thing to do is to get everybody on board and get everybody kind of on the same page to where what's going on with the virus, because really nobody knows at this point. Nobody that isn't in the know or a scientist or a doctor. So smart.
The league also announced on Monday that fans will be permitted to go to games. However, they must wear masks. My thing is, how would they be able to police that?
They won't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so tough to police people. And I mean, even in the clubs, it's very tough to police people. And especially with, the NFL is going to be liquor involved, and then sometimes there might be some drugs involved. So that it's going to be tough, man. It's really going to be tough.
It is. And I feel like, when you're, of course, they're not going to have preseason. So they've come out and announced that there will be no preseason games. However, in September, there's still possibility of 90 degree weather. And so in that time, it's hot outside. People are going to want to take their masks off. And then if you're even though you're not going to have 70,000 people in the stadium, you'll still have, 20,000 or something like that. So
yeah,
still the possibility of someone contracting that disease. So do they or will they have a waiver that you have to fill out before you enter the stadium so they won't make themselves liable?
Yeah.
I want to know what the guidelines are going to be for these stadiums, because obviously every stadium has, different parameters, has different amounts of fans they can allow. Are there going to be social distancing? Is it going to be every other seat? Is it going to be people can't, how many people can go to the bathroom at one time? How many people can go to concessions? There's a whole lot of factors. And I just want to know, are teams cooking that up right now, or is it going to be an NFL mandated thing that? I feel like anything more than anything that needs to be outlined, because the fans are the ones spending the money at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you look at the Chiefs. Now they've had Chiefs offensive lineman, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. He opts out of the 2020-2021 NFL season. So he posted to his social media platforms that he plans to opt out. So a few key points that stood out to me the most is he said, being at the front line during this offseason has given me a different perspective of this pandemic and the stress it put on individuals in our healthcare system. So he also said, I cannot allow myself to potentially transmit the virus in our communities simply to play the sport that I love. If I'm to take risks, I would do so caring for patients.
That's huge. I mean, that's a huge statement to make. And especially from where he sits, he sits in a place of privilege. He's able to, make a large sum of money playing a game that he loves, and a game that some people call, childish or whatever. But he's making a huge stance, and it shows his commitment to his area of study. It just shows that he is a very compassionate person, even though he plays a very brutal sport. And I like that he's able to step out there and say this, and be able to make this statement that he cares more about the community than making the money that he's going to make, from simply playing a game.
And then when you look at it, and of course, if you guys don't know, our viewers that are watching this on Facebook Live and listening to us on 100.1 FM, if you don't know that Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, he's the offensive lineman for the Chiefs, but he also graduated medical school. He practices medicine in Canada. And so he's been doing that all throughout the pandemic. We got a chance to talk to him earlier, I think back in March, and he just spoke about practicing medicine and still working out, preparing for the upcoming season. Well, he's made his decision, and I think it was a tough decision for him to make, as he said in his statement. But he's, as Andy Reid said earlier, that doctors are givers. They are protected. Yeah. They want to give instead of take. And so Andy Reid also said that his father is a doctor, and so he understands how doctors think, and so he has the utmost respect for Laurent Duvernay-Tardif and his decision.
Yeah, definitely. Much respect goes to him for that.
And mention that place of privilege of being playing the sport of football, but now, I mean, he's in Canada, and so even if he wanted to come back, the border's closed. Can he?
Money talks in America. Like if you have enough money in America, you can say that an infectious virus, a pandemic that's infected the world is not as big of a deal. So if they can say that, I'm sure he can cross a border.
Oh yeah, definitely. But shout out to him for real.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about life inside of the NBA bubble for a minute.
Yeah.
You look at the games are getting ready to start playing. The season starts on the 30th of July, and so Sports Illustrated senior writer Chris Annex, he wrote an article titled "The NBA Bubble is a Unique Experience," and so in that article, and you guys can go read that on SportsIllustrated.com. But he talked about just the perspective from the media side and just gave us a behind the curtain look of, you know, what it looks like inside of the bubble in Orlando, staying in a hotel, being quarantined when he got there for, I believe, 8 days. And now he's able to kind of roam about. And he also talked about the meals and being tested the same as if he were a player. And it's cool to hear from just one of our colleagues in how it is inside of that NBA bubble.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you think you'd be able to survive that bubble?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because if you think about it, okay, so you'll be there, until September?
Yeah.
Depending on what team you cover.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
That's 2 months worth of no outside contact. I mean, you're basically in a really, really, really nice prison. We're gonna keep it a buck. You're in a really you have all the inmates, you got the wardens, you got the COs. But yeah, I mean, you got everything you could want in there, everything you desire, except contact with outside people. So at the end of the day, you kind of have to look at it like that. I mean, it's all well and fun because you're playing the game you love, you get to hang out. It's like you're not, but at the same time, you can't go outside unless you have an excused absence. And what is an excused absence? Death in the family, family emergency, anything like that. But you're basically in jail. So,
but from a media perspective, there's different restrictions that you have. So he talked about the restriction of not being able to go to any of the places that the players are allowed in.
Yeah,
so
really.
So they have, you know, the barbershops. Some media are allowed in the barbershops, others aren't. And then you have to submit a practice plan. So 2 days in advance, if you want to, let's just say you want to go watch the Lakers practice, you got to submit a practice plan 2 days in advance before you're able to go to that team. And so you have so many teams in the league. Now you have to submit a practice plan and kind of plan out your day, which is crazy. From his perspective, he said he's used to following one team, getting on a plane, going to that city, and following that team. So now you kind of have to schedule if Lakers going to be playing the Sixers, and then the Lakers one day, and then the Lakers going to be playing the Celtics another day. You have to, you know, figure out, all right, well, the Lakers practice at this time, the Celtics practice at this time. How am I going to juggle getting to both?
Yeah, and it's gonna be huge logistics issues, especially for, you know, journalists, and especially for the guys that cover the teams. I mean, we've seen the level of security to get into the big three. So just imagine that times 10. So that's it'll be interesting to see, because it's definitely gonna change us socially for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and could you imagine yourself covering the team and being, you know, you're a very social person right now.
Yeah,
so
and
could you imagine just being stuck to one spot?
Yeah, and that's the toughest thing for me in the pandemic, you know, really being a social person and more of a socialite, you know, for the lack of words. But yeah, it would be tough. Like, it would definitely be tough for me. Like, as far as the players, you know, they're in a good position. They're able to be around each other. They're able to socialize. You know, media types, you know, some guys aren't very sociable.
Right.
So
very tough on it.
We saw that on Radio Row. You know, there are a lot of guys that are kind of socially awkward. And you know, I come from a very different realm, and everybody's like the cool guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was there. I remember I was there at one point in life. I was like, I don't know about this, you know, whole being social thing, but yeah, I bet it's real tough on some of those guys who just they
no, it sucks. Steve would love it though, because he just, you know, he'll get his fits off every day.
Oh yeah, no, he would enjoy it. He'd be all the players would love Steve. Oh yeah.
All right, so the MLB they had their opening day on Thursday, with the New York Yankees and the Washington Nationals game. So players show their support of Black Lives Matter by kneeling before the game. Also, the MLB is doing a lot more than I thought they would. They have the Black Lives Matter logo on the pitcher's mound. So before every pitch is thrown, viewers have no choice but to see that logo. And also, they've allowed the Black Lives Matter social justice patches on jerseys.
Yeah, I love it.
Big
love it.
time. I didn't see it coming either. So.
Yeah. And I like what the WNBA teams just did today. So that's even better.
Yeah.
And so you also have on Friday morning, the Tampa Bay Rays sent a tweet saying today is our opening day, which means it's a great day to arrest killers, the killers of Breonna Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Major League Baseball, and let's just be quite frank, it's
good old boy league.
It is. And so what they're doing now is very surprising to me.
Very, especially in Boston.
Yeah.
In addition to that tweet, Boston tweeted the Black Lives Matter hashtag, and they put on their video board outside of their stadium that runs along the freeway, Black Lives Matter with their Boston Red Sox logo.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to question what all of this really means, go look at that tweet and go look at the comments underneath it.
Yes.
It'll tell you everything you need to know about why this is such a huge deal and why people, why all of these teams are now, I guess, using their platform to show solidarity. And I think it's huge because of that comment section. Like, there are actually humans out here that feel this way, really. So,
and it's crazy. It's crazy that people can still in 2020, you can still feel a certain type of way towards another person because he doesn't look like you or he doesn't share your same skin tone. That's just crazy.
It doesn't make sense to me, honestly. Like, literally makes zero sense. But a lot of times that people, they hide behind a computer or they hide behind their phone because, you know, if a person if they say something about DJ Q and what his tweet is, and they we'll reply to his tweet from this standpoint. If you see Q out, you're not gonna say, all right, Q, I don't like your tweet, so this is what I think. Blah blah blah. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
That's too real. That's too like. That's too. What's the word I'm looking for? It's too
confrontational.
I mean, confrontational. Yeah. But I want to paint the other person as like you're not physically equipped mentally equipped to have that conversation and make great points, because you don't have a point if you're going against a movement like Black Lives Matter. Like, you don't have there's no logic there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So it's hard to argue with somebody. It's easy to argue on the internet, but it's hard to argue with somebody in person when you have no logic behind your argument.
Right.
Basically is what I'm trying to say. So.
All right, Washington to call itself Washington Football Team temporarily and tweak uniform for 2020. So on Thursday, Washington announced that they would be called the Washington Football Team, effective immediately. And this is not a final renaming, they said, or rebranding of the team.
Of course.
It's just a name that they want to use until pending adoption of a new name in the future. So in addition to the name change, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that the Washington Football Team will indeed not have any change to its color scheme, but will change the team logo on the helmet by replacing it with the player's number in gold. So the Washington Football Team will continue the process of retiring the name in hopes of that the entire logo and everything will be done within the next 50 days by the September 13th regular season date.
Hey, Noel just talked about logic. We're talking about logic in 2020. Like, to not use a racial slur.
Yeah. I semi applaud them because, they couldn't come up with a name that wasn't the Redskins slur. So they just said, we're the football team that's in Washington. So let's just call it what it is. And just keep it out, man.
That's original. You know?
Yeah. Shit, whatever. So
You guys' thoughts on that? The name, just the Washington football team, though. I mean,
it's hilarious, and it's
what they deserve.
he should have had a backup in the tuck, especially seeing all of the hoopla that's going on the past couple of months. He should have already been working on that. But the arrogance of racist.
No logic, no thinking, no forward thinking. Basically, no forward thinking.
Well, I mean, I can understand. It's a daunting task to be selling off your cheerleaders to your sponsors. So that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, that was on his mind. That was on.
Think about it too. You're worth billions of dollars. This organization is, and you mean to tell me that you couldn't find a marketing team that is able to come up with a name that you can put out? Let's just say, put out there to fans, the people of Washington. This is here. 3 choices. This is what we're going with, instead of just okay, well, the Washington football team, that's what we're going to go with. No, you should give the fans of Washington, the people that spend the money, let them come up with a name. I mean, it's only fair. They've given you so much, and your team hasn't won anything. So they've given you so much over this amount of time.
Man, they try to talk about us Cowboy fans. Redskins really ain't done nothing in
a long time.
Since I've been born, they haven't done anything. So
you owe it to your people. They spent money with you year in and year out on parking, on concessions, on game tickets, on buying team apparel. You mean to tell me that you can't give them the opportunity to come up with a team name?
Right.
What would y'all think? What would you think would be a suitable name? Like, if you could come up with one, what would you think?
I mean, I like the concept of the Red Tails.
Red Tails.
I like that, but then you have
jokes behind it.
Yeah, you got a lot of jokes behind that, and then a lot of irony that goes behind his sex trafficking allegations.
Yeah,
so that kind of kills that name.
Yeah, I mean, I like that one too, though. I did like that one.
There were a few concepts floating around that I think they could heavily consider, and especially for those those creatives that were on Twitter or Facebook or wherever they were. I think he should heavily consider those people and pulling them on to like you said, Steve, pull on those marketing teams and those branding teams to be able to say, like, this is what you have, and this is what you should use moving forward. Especially for allowing the fans to vote. Like, I like that idea. Like, allowing the fans to vote is really going to help. But I mean, the New Orleans basketball team is called the Pelicans, so it really can't get much worse than that.
Did y'all see the NHL team named the Kraken?
Yeah. It was a pretty good logo.
Yeah, the logo was actually not bad. So
yeah. So, but there's a lot of interesting stories behind that too. So it's good for the fans, especially up there.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we're getting to our Hater or Love It segment. We'll have our sneakers of the week, and we'll see just how much Guinness World Records has said that LeBron James' trading card has sold for. So we'll be right back. W Show.
Football's in the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
We're back in on the W 100.1 FM, the W Showcase. Appreciate everybody watching us each and every week, tuning in. Let us know if you want to talk about a certain topic, hashtag talk about it, and we will definitely talk about it. If you want to join our show, just let us know on our comment section. We'll bring you in. It's your time to shine. Let us know if you want to talk about a topic, and we'll bring you on the show. Let us know. Guys, let's get into our Editor Love It segment.
Yeah.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
All right, so our sneaker of the week. Let's look at that real quick. First up, the Jordan 12 University Golds. You guys' thoughts on that?
I like those. They're decent. I wonder what Noel feels about these.
I mean, 12s are always, great in my book, but I'm not really a fan of this colorway particularly. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say pass on these.
Yeah. So he's not a Steelers fan. Gotcha.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nope.
How about the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star Crater? These comes in 2 different colorways, man. I like these actually.
Yeah, I like the darker gray.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of feeling those. They give me Blazer vibes, Nike Blazer vibes for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I would rock those for sure.
All right, so the Jordan 1 Retro High CO Japan.
Yes.
Neutral grays. You guys feeling those?
Yeah.
It also comes
10
with
times, yes.
I knew Noel would like those.
For sure.
Yeah, these things are selling for 26,400 yen. How much money is that in American dollars?
No
Not
idea.
a lot. It's like $200-$300.
Yeah, they come with this custom case, man. The same case that I don't know if you guys remember, but the
I had them back in the day. Yeah, I had them.
17s. I've been looking for. So if you guys are watching this show and you have a Jordan 17 case, either the silver or the red one, let me know because I will take it off your hands. I need another case. All right, the Off-White has combined with Air Jordan and the 4, the women's edition. I like these.
Love these.
Yeah.
These are very high tier. These might be the best release of the year, honestly.
What?
Two Virgils up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, what are you putting above these, Steve?
You talking about this year?
Yeah. This year's been kind of weak, so
It has.
I mean,
I don't know.
You rocking that much, Q? You really feeling these that much?
I like these. I mean, you could do a lot with these. You could, looking at it, you could do like an all black fit and then have those on the bottom. Wow.
I feel you. That's a strong statement, but I like your enthusiasm. I like.
Hey,
it.
you can go with some green pants with these, Noel.
Some green joints.
A green pattern pant.
You saying you do whatever? You know what? I can see. You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing some plaid. I'm seeing some plaid.
That's what. See, you know the vibes.
Yeah, I'm seeing some plaid with them on. Yeah, cute.
Yeah.
But you mentioned this. You said this is the sneakers of the year so far, or just Jordan sneakers of the year?
I mean, I can almost make that bold statement of these are tops of the year. I don't remember anything this year so far, unless I'm forgetting something, but I don't remember anything.
You got the Jordan 13, the Flints. They brought those back out. You got the Ben and Jerry's.
Nope, definitely not the Ben and Jerry's.
I see them on people's feet though, man. I don't know. I can't make that statement and say those are one of the top ones, man.
We're gonna come back to it when we do our annual sneakers of the year. We're gonna definitely come back to it. I'm gonna say it's top 5 at least right now.
Top 2, and it might not be 2.
We're gonna hold you there. We're gonna hold you to that.
According to Guinness Book of World Records, LeBron James trading card sells for a record-breaking $1.845 million.
Yes. Yeah.
So Golden Auctions, the auction house responsible for selling the exclusive 2003 to 2004 LeBron James Upper Deck signed rookie patch parallel card broke Guinness Book of World Records title for the most expensive basketball trading card sold at an online auction as part of their 2020 summer premium auction last Saturday night at goldenauctions.com. So about this card, it is only one of 23 total that has ever been produced and includes a piece of a Game 1 jersey. Hate it or love it.
Love it.
I love that
love
LeBron got a couple. LeBron said he got a couple himself. So that's what I love the most about it.
Yeah. I used to be a card collector, man, as a kid.
Me too, man. Me too.
Great.
What was the best card y'all ever had? Like the one maybe not the best, but your favorite, the one that you hold near and dear.
Man, I had a couple of Ken Griffey's. That was my player growing up.
Rookie cards or like just regular team?
I don't think I had it was a rookie, but it was a regular card, and I had a couple of him just in his swinging stance. It just
What about you, Steve?
I had and I still have it to this day, and I don't know how much it was. I have a Shaquille O'Neal rookie.
Really?
Yeah, I have a Shaquille O'Neal rookie, and it was one of those things that I don't know if you guys remember, but there used to be a baseball or just a sports card shop that was out on 71 Highway in by Grandview.
Yep.
And I used to go out. My mom just take me out there probably almost every other Saturday morning.
Yeah. See, look, my mom, my books are still there.
So with these,
check them out.
With this card, it came in like you used to get like these packs. And so you spend a few bucks on a pack that come with like 10 cards.
Yeah.
This Shaquille O'Neal was an Upper Deck, and it's a Shaquille O'Neal rookie card, and it came in the pack with the 10 cards. And the guy said, "Hey, that card is a rookie, so it may be worth something. You keep it." And my mom bought this at the time. It was like a $25 glass case that you put it in. She was like, "Make sure you put it in the case." So I still have that card somewhere floating around.
Hey, you might be able to auction it off.
You go find that. You going that's worth something for sure.
Yeah, because eBay kind of killed the trading card industry. But I think it's going to come back, especially for nostalgia's sake.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I looked up the card probably about 10 years ago, and it was like $80 that it was going for online. So I don't know how much it's going for right now.
And because the packs that you would get at the store, those were more mass produced. But you look at
it's still there.
You look at, because I've got like 3 just full books of just cards. And I've got a really small book of the more rare ones that I had. But like the what was it, Top Fleet or something like that?
Yeah, Fleer. It was Fleer.
Fleer and something from Top,
Upper Deck
and but then they had some that were like limited releases where they only made a certain amount, and those are the ones like this one that are worth a lot, because Upper Deck
jersey.
Yeah, because Upper Deck made some of the best cards, and especially with the hologram on the back, you see it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, those are the vibes back then. I had 3 different collections. So I had a baseball collection, basketball, and then football. And I just love to just like look at them. Like I would just look. I would like learn the player's stats. I would like know what team he played for. So like when I would watch Sports Center or ESPN, I'd be like, oh shit, I know him. So I thought that was really cool to like have that collection and
definitely
make that connection.
But you know what? I had also had these, and I don't know if you guys remember them, but I had the Marvel. Marvel came out with these cards, and they were collector's edition Marvel cards. So I had a bunch of like Marvel cards that were translucent, and they had, and you could move them back and forth. And
I remember those.
Gonna be worth a lot of money at that time.
I'm holding on to all mine.
All right, so Michael Jordan's Jumpman logo will appear on NBA Statement Edition uniforms next season. So Nike announced Tuesday that his iconic Jordan brand Jumpman logo will appear on all NBA Statement uniforms when the 2021 season gets underway. So the Jumpman logo will appear on the right shoulder of jerseys and the left leg of the shorts. So where does that leave Pistons fans real salty? Editor love it.
Eddie.
I love it. I love it.
So
He made sure they was the first team. You know, he made sure they was the first team that was gonna have the logo.
So if you guys, our viewers remember, during the ESPN Last Dance, documentary, the bad blood between the Pistons and the Bulls, and even deeper than that, the Michael Jordan Isaiah Thomas beef, that's still going on, not going on. We really don't know. But
it's still ongoing.
Pistons fans took to Twitter and are upset about this photo of the Detroit Pistons jersey that the official Twitter account released on earlier this week. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's just like the ultimate. That's the ultimate, like how I got you. I got enough money to put my logo on your jersey.
I mean, it's almost time to have that talk about Michael being a psychopath. It's almost time.
If he didn't have a basketball in his hands, who knows? Who knows, man? I'm just saying. Saying, who knows? Because this is beyond petty.
The king of petty.
That's the ultimate flex. He gets for sure.
I love it.
Can you imagine how like people like Bill Laimbeer and like all those guys who are on those teams who fought tooth and nail to like delay the inevitable, and he still wins in the end. Like he won, but then he wins again. Like you can't beat this one. You can't beat this one.
No, Alexa has a point. Like he Isaiah's got to roll up on him.
We should get Alexa's point of view. Alexa, if you want to join in on our show, send us your email, and I will send you the link to our show, and you can come on right now. Let's do it. Let's bring you on. Put your email on, and we'll bring you on. Let's just see what we're talking about.
I talked to her earlier this week. She said she said she loved to join the show, but she's in the process of moving, so she didn't know if she'd be ready. But she said she can't wait to the point. So
just put your email
in now.
Come on, let's just talk about it. So let's look at one fan that went all out to troll the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, and their TikTok duet challenge. So the video posted by the official @Vikings TikTok account showed quarterback Kirk Cousins wearing a red non-contact jersey, dropping back and throwing a pass during training camp with the text, "New challenge, duet yourself catching Kirk Cousins pass overlaid." So the intention was to have users submit split screen videos with the original next to a video of their own to make it appear as though they were catching a pass from a 31-year-old Kirk Cousins. So the user @Austin Craig submitted a savage video where Cousins threw a pass to him, and it was overthrown. Basically, you see the pass that sailed over Cousins.
Oh, you can't play the video, man.
So we got no. Here we go. We got the video. We'll play the video right now. And so so a little backstory with this: Cousins has been ridiculed in the past for his inaccuracy during clutch primetime situations. Hated or love it.
Oh my God, I love it! Like, because that's exactly how Kirk Cousins plays. So it's just that makes it even funnier.
It happens. It don't make it any better that he's one of the. I guess he's the second highest paid QB in the league.
Yeah, because when he played for the Washington football team, that was regular for him.
Yeah, I mean, hell, when he plays for the Vikings, it happens in the clutch. No, it happens. So,
all right. Serena Williams reveals daughter Olympia she's 2.5 years old, and she's now part owner of the new women's soccer franchise. So this deal makes the 2-year-old the youngest person ever to own a professional sports team. Hate it or love it.
Yes, love it.
Generations.
So the National Women's Soccer League announced its new expansion team in Los Angeles named Angel City. So the team has a 30-person star-studded ownership group that includes Natalie Portman, Eva Longoria, of course, Serena Williams and her husband, Reddit owner Alexis Ohanian, and her now 2-year-old daughter, Alexis Ohanian Jr. Olympia Ohanian Jr.
Yeah.
And so Williams took to social media to share the good news, posting a picture of Olympia that read, "A new era of sports and entertainment in Los Angeles, building a women's football club that lives up to its name, Angel City." What do you guys think?
Love it, man. Love it.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
And so we talked about her name. We didn't know that you could have a young lady and have her name Junior, because we thought that, or I at least thought that it was masculine to have the name Junior or Senior or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was totally unaware.
And like I said, Black generational wealth, love it.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so Timberwolves owner listening to offers Kevin Garnett hoping to buy. So the long-term NBA superstar said Tuesday he is part of a group that is hoping to buy the franchise from Glenn Taylor, who has owned it since 1994. So Taylor said in a statement he was recently approached by a third-party group to discuss the future of the franchise. He said he's always wanted what's best for the team and fans and will entertain opportunities and the ownership structure of the Timberwolves and Lynx, Minnesota's WNBA team. Hater to love it.
Love it. Definitely love it. Yeah, and it's great, especially for players like this, to get into ownership, because now they understand the kinship, between the players, and really understanding the players' needs, and not making it so much owners versus players, especially when we come to negotiations.
Exactly. That's exactly the point I was going to make. Now we have a connection to where you can say, as an owner, like, hey man, I've been there, like, and I'm going to take care of you because I know where you're at right now and I know where you're going. So like, it's not a me versus you thing. It's a us thing. Let's build something so we can become a championship organization, as opposed to, I'm sorry to say it, but like a New York Knicks situation where where you have like no end in sight to the ineptitude, no willing to change, nobody's willing to like sacrifice something to be great. And so this is huge for me. Like, big ups to Kevin Garnett. Hopefully he wins that bid and he becomes part owner.
And you mentioned the New York Knicks. So Darren Smith put this on our deal earlier. Some news has been released that Tom Thibodeau is finalizing a 5-year deal to be the new coach of the New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I mean. And not to say anything against Tom Thibodeau, because I personally think he's a great basketball mind and coach. This is what we mean when we say ineptitude, though, because you have guys like Mark Jackson and Jason Kidd out here who have proven like player development is at the forefront of what they're great at. And the New York Knicks themselves as a basketball team, that's exactly what they need. They don't need a veteran, battle-tested playoff coach. They need somebody who's going to develop them so they can become great players. And this is what I mean by ineptitude. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but like, they didn't go for what they needed. They went for like the splash. They went for the like. So,
and especially with that core, the young nucleus that they have over there, they're definitely going to need some sort of player development. And like you said, no disrespect to Tom Thibodeau, but we've heard about players in the past that didn't necessarily like his system, and didn't necessarily fit in his system. And you look at it, I mean, we can parallel that to Tom Coughlin in the NFL. Tom Coughlin didn't speak the language that the players spoke, especially in his 90s run with the Jaguars. And then you look at, his early 2000s run, 90s, early 2000s run with the New York Giants. Yeah. So it was very tough for him to speak that language. And like you said, you can't get the best out of players if you don't develop them as players, and especially within their skill sets, their strengths and their weaknesses within their skill sets. And it's gonna be tough, especially for those young players over there. So.
And I just got a text. Been working to try to get Tyreek on the show just to talk about a lot of stuff that he has,
definitely
going on, racing, Terrell Owens, his offseason YouTube, things like that. But he said he's good to do it, so he'll be coming on our show. Make sure that you guys stay Stay tuned in to us because Tyreek Hill will be joining our show. I just got the message from him, so he's going to be joining. Not today, he said, but because he has a lot going on. But he said he'll be joining. Hopefully, we can get him next week. Andy Reid, he's in the news, man. He said, according to TMZ Sports, Andy Reid is Tommy Bahama's most important male model.
See you, Andy.
The Tommy Bahama and Chiefs collab has exploded over the past 2 years with sales at Arrowhead Stadium. So Tommy Bahama stores and online more than doubling. Hate it or love it.
I mean, I love it. It's a check for Andy. I just want to know how big the check is.
So Tommy Bahama CEO Doug Wood, the brand sends coach around 6 free shirts a year because he's pretty much a walking billboard. We try to keep it as current as possible. Wood told Forbes. He said, because whatever he's wearing, people want to buy. It's really been amazing for us. He's just that kind. He just kind of took over as one of our spokespersons without us knowing he was the spokesperson.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's great for Andy. And it just shows what kind of guy that he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just a guy that, you know, very, very loose. You know, we've seen him definitely around the different media events. He's just loose and just, you know, and
chill.
But that's a segue from what we just talked about with Tom Coughlin and Tom Thibodeau, and really being a guy that can speak the language of the players. And Andy has done that for a very long time. That's long credit that I can give him, because he's been able to adapt. And a lot of coaches and men in positions of power, they don't understand how to adapt, especially with the generational differences.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu, he pays for the funeral costs for a 9-year-old boy shot in New Orleans. So the Kansas City Chiefs safety, New Orleans native Tyrann Mathieu, he paid for the funeral costs, and so Mathieu paid for the cost for Devontae Bryant, a 9-year-old who was shot and killed in 7th Ward on Monday. In a statement released through his agency, Mathieu he said that the gesture was made in order to allow the family to focus on grieving for their son. Hate it or love it.
Oh, I love it. And it's great that he shows so much care for the city of New Orleans, because they need it. I mean, just like here, they need it. And he's just, man, he's just a great guy. And especially how they tried to paint him coming into the league, and the different issues he had as a young man, and to see him really overcome that narrative that they tried to place on him, and do so many great things between Arizona, Houston, and now here. Like, he's just, he's done a lot, and it's hats off to that guy.
For real. No, and he's really can't come to Kansas City and become a leader in this city.
Definitely.
In a sense, he's really made himself he's always been a man of the people. But he's just kind of come to Kansas City and just like embraced it. And
what's his thing? Steve? Rent man coming to collect. What is it?
Landlord. Yeah. Landlord is coming to collect the rent. So yeah, he's made that a thing, and it's taken off, man. So even now, you have the national commentators talking about that the landlord is there, and he does the thing where he's pointing at his helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, Mathieu, he's definitely a good dude. He's definitely a good dude. All right, so here's another guy that's back in the news that we've been talking about over the past few months, man. Mike Tyson to face Roy Jones Jr. in September exhibition boxing match. Hate it or love it.
I like it. One, I like it because it takes the stigma away from guys that are retired. And being able to show that, guys like this, they wake up every day. We just talked about Tyreek racing T.O. and T.O. being retired almost the better half of 10 years now. You look at a guy that's still able to run with Tyreek Hill. And it's huge, especially for men at that age. And it just shows that, guys like this, they don't stop training. Their life has been training, and it continues to be training. And I love to see it, because even when you see Mike hitting the bags, still wouldn't. I wouldn't even want to be nicked by him by one of his punches. So sorry.
I really want to see. Because Roy Jones Jr. He's my favorite boxer of all time. Like out of everybody. Yeah, no, Roy Jones was box office, man. So I really want to see some of his, his tapes. Like I want to see some of his videos because who knows what kind of shit. Because when he was in his prime, him and Mike could have went at it, and it would have been a great fight. Yeah. So I want to see more from Roy, but this is great for Mike as well because who doesn't love Mike?
So Tyson, at 54 years of age, he'll fight Roy Jones Jr. in an 8-round exhibition match on September 12th at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Love it. The bout will be broadcast on pay-per-view as well as a multimedia platform, Triller. According to a news release, Triller will also show a 10-part docuseries leading up to the bout. So
collect all that coin.
Right. And so we mentioned, we always talk about this every week, but in our Talk About It segment, we send us information and we'll definitely get to it. So a friend of our show, Michael Airborne Lane, he posted this on our feed about, or talk about it. He wants us to talk about this, which it says, pick your Hail Mary combo from the 50-yard line with 0.1 seconds on the clock. And you have all these quarterbacks, and at the bottom you have wide receivers. Who would you go with?
I'm very biased. I'm gonna go with Russ. We've seen Aaron Rodgers do it, but I love Russ, and I know he's gonna put it there. And again, another bias, DeAndre Hopkins, especially with his height and his go get it. It's rare you see that man drop a pass, And if I've got that, that length of the field. And his height, it's not too many people that are going to jump with him. I would normally say Tyreek in this, but you said it's a Hail Mary. Now, if it's like some kind of hook and ladder situation, I'm definitely throwing Tyreek and I'm letting him get busy. But yeah, between Russ or Deshaun really putting it up there and DeAndre coming down with it.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm going Pat and Julio, and to me, there's no other answer. No disrespect to Odell, but Julio, he gonna get down the field as quick as possible, and he gonna jump over everybody. And he's already 6'4", 6'5", so I'm gonna go there. And Pat, everybody know the vibes there. So those are my two right there for sure.
For me, it would have to be Mahomes to Tyreek. And
of course,
the reason I'm saying that, and I'm not being a homer, I'm not.
Right.
The thing about it is, if you look and see, I don't know if you can go back to, what was that, 2 seasons ago, where you had
the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys going into halftime, and you saw Tyreek Hill. He threw the ball and went to Tyreek Hill, and he scored with the defense in prevent. So you had like 7 guys.
We was there.
No, Steve, it's a Hail Mary though.
And I'm gonna get to that. So even at that, Tyreek is still able to get behind defenses. So let's just say they're on their own 10-yard line and they have to go, march down the field 90 yards with the Hail Mary. I mean, Pat has the arm to be able to extend plays, and so if you just throwing it out there, Tyreek's gonna go get it wherever you're throwing it to.
Yeah, he still
jump with any of those guys on that list.
No. I give him his jumping ability. His jumping ability is definitely a high tier for a guy his size. But I don't see him coming down with it for a guy as athletic as DeAndre. Not even just athletic. I wouldn't say he's more athletic, but he's just a little taller. And I know DeAndre can hop up. I've seen him on film do this. And Tyreek definitely could. But if I had my choice, I'm going with D-Hop.
All right, as always, we appreciate everybody that joins us each and every week. 100.1 FM, The W Show. Next week, we'll be right back here. We'll be back at our same time, 11 a.m. So make sure that you liking us on social media. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, at The W Show on all social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram. And send us a message. If you like what you see, send us a message. Let us know what you think. And also, if you want to talk about a certain sports topic, hate it or love it, whether it's hate or love it or just our headlines, hashtag talk about it. Let us know. Until next week, we are out.
Peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?